2008 Needles UFO crash had everything. It had scientists and the local military that came in, as well as an actual crash site, a place that we could physically go and see if we could find anything that others left there and forgot.
Be it a discovery in Chile or an encounter in China. Governments have a long history of transparency with UFO sightings.
Y'all can't tell me that ain't no UFO.
I've managed to get up to here where you can't be seen.
But I'll be revealing everything today.
That's not our LNS though, is it? Well, if there's look at that thing.
Shocking remains, mysterious artifacts, and evidence that cannot be ignored. So hang on to know the secrets the authorities have been keeping from you. Glowing UFO crashed. Only UFOs have the ability to crash in a fancy way like this. This footage showed a glowing UFO that was spotted swiftly gliding over the night sky in Mexico. It caught everyone's attention because it entered the Earth at lightning speed. Even the crash sent hundreds of fragments flying around like fireworks. Everyone who has seen this video was terrified to see the UFO changing from a bright object to a mound of glowing debris. How did it even happen? Do you have any idea? Mysterious UFO crashed. In 2008, locals witnessed a bright object fall from the sky and believed a UFO was crashing near the Colorado River. The area was then watched for months, but the researchers had nothing to claim. A few years later, two brothers, called the UFO brothers, decided to check out the crash site. While digging around, they found a weird metal object buried in the ground, which only made people more curious about what really crashed that night. Rumors started flying. Was it a plane? A meteor? Or was it really a UFO? Until someone officially confirms it, we're left to wonder. Egyptian UFO. Back in 1980, experts in Egypt discovered a UFO at a survey site, and their curiosity was piqued right away. The UFO had been there for weeks, completely abandoned, with no signs of life inside. It was so massive and heavy that the workers had to use a crane to lift it.
Hey, crane, can you just put it back?
Locals quickly gathered. They were in disbelief at what they were seeing. And soon, there were rumors everywhere. Everyone called it the first ever secret attempt of aliens to invade Earth.
Right there, craft CSU-23.
Because there's no other way of explaining how a craft this huge just entered and even silently landed on. How did it even get here? No one could figure out where it came from or how it ended up in the Egyptian desert. Saskatchewan farm mystery. While working on their farm close to Ituna, Saskatchewan, a farmer-son duo spotted a strange piece of rubbish in the field. At first, they thought it was trash.
For a far distance, we thought it was garbage, and then after that, we got closer, and we don't know what it is.
But just as they got closer, they realized it was something very unusual. They were used to finding occasional debris on their 10,000-acre farm, so this find was clearly out of the ordinary. The object weighed around 100 pounds and seemed to have been torched with chunks melting away. The farmer believed it might be from a satellite or something from space that fell to Earth.
It could be part of a satellite or something that re-entered.
The mystery deepened because the object looked like it was made of carbon fiber and aluminum.
It's carbon fiber, composite, and then there's aluminum honeycomb.
They took it home to figure out what it was, but later handed it over to the government. Nebra sky disk. While digging through the area in Germany, some archaeologists came across some artifacts from the Bronze Age, in which an unusual object quickly grabbed their attention. This unusual disk had 32 golden circles, a crescent shape, and an arc on its edge.
Looks like it's meant to be the sun and a crescent moon. And there's these two sides that could be marking seasons or could be marking a horizon. These smaller circles could potentially be stars.
A little arc was missing on the left, and there is an inverted rainbow-shaped arch at the bottom. Looking at this object, I'm convinced it's not man-made, but something from space.
Isn't showing an older civilization having settled earlier than expected.
Scientists later identified it as the Nebra sky disk. The disk features a full circle and crescent, likely representing the sun and moon.
That looks like it's meant to be the sun and a crescent moon.
Researchers believe the sides could mark seasons or horizons, while the smaller circles might be stars.
And there's these two sides that could be marking seasons or could be marking a horizon. These smaller circles could potentially be stars.
What else could it tell us about its creators? Estimates suggest this disk dates back to around 1800 BC. Vegas backyard mystery. In early 2021, a family in Las Vegas saw a bright blue light crash down with a loud bang. They reported it to the police, who took it seriously. To catch any unusual happenings, the police set up cameras in the backyard. And what they recorded was pretty wild. Everyone was curious about the sudden crash and the glowing blue light. Could it be something as crazy as an alien sighting? Only time will tell. Alien-like bodies unearthed. A group of American scientists found some odd bodies that looked like aliens. Their features were rather strange. Since each of them had 3 fingers on both hands and feet, they were very different from any known animal or human. Their legs were strangely bent, and their heads were huge. Well, scientists began examining these strange creatures, using scans to figure out what they really were. And even the results were shocking, because the scans said that though they were found in Peru, they were nothing close to the usual animal and human mummies found there. UFO over Dallas. In this next video, another UFO was seen floating calmly one night over Oak Cliff in Dallas, Texas.
Y'all can't tell me that ain't no fucking UFO.
This place has been called the hub of UFO sightings in recent years. There was no movement in the sky, but it was shining brightly because of the UFO's intense light beam.
What is that, y'all? I'm right here, Oak Cliff, Texas, man. What is that?
The UFO hovered in the sky for about an hour. It passed another object that seemed to be a UFO, but it remained still. What are these UFOs doing here? Strange nightlight. One night, a truck driver saw a strange object in the dark sky while he was heading home. A massive, brilliant light appeared in the distance and glowed brightly.
At 5:51 in the morning, this is what we see in the sky.
Glowing lights like this, which seem to be coming from nowhere, are especially interesting because they don't have any source. It looked like beams of light were emitted from a portal. The driver stopped his truck to have a better view. The light flickered and pulsed, casting strange shadows everywhere. It was like a doorway to another universe, or maybe a portal. Ocean's strange light. While working on an oil platform in the Campos Basin, a crew of workers noticed something odd in the water. They saw an intriguing light coming from below.
Olha lá, cara, aquela luz. Olha lá.
Bright, seemingly flashing light filled the surrounding waters. This brightness seemed to be coming from an unusual aquatic object. It could probably be a UFO, but why would there be a UFO underwater? It could be because oceans are the perfect place to hide for otherworldly beings. Most of our oceans are still undiscovered.
Olha lá a luz.
Mysterious skylights. A man was standing on his rooftop looking up at the stars. Suddenly, he saw flashes of light glimmering in the sky. The lights were moving in a circle, like a UFO. The light grew brighter. All of a sudden, a huge flare lit up the sky, creating a bizarre opening that looked like a portal to another world. The UFO then rushed towards the bright light and vanished through the portal. It disappeared just as quickly as it had appeared. Martian mystery. An unusual discovery in a new NASA photograph sparked optimism about the possibility of visiting Mars. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has snapped nearly 7 million images of the planet since its launch in 2006. But it wasn't until 2021 that a researcher spotted 2 long lines resembling a partially buried, disc-shaped object. This object was 12 to 15 meters in diameter and could possibly be the remains of a UFO crash. Some speculate that Mars was once home to the ancient Sidonians, as the odd structures and mounds indicate that the planet previously had something special. But how could something so strikingly round and precise be purely natural? Area 51 secrets exposed. A leaked video of Area 51 has drawn attention because it shows a covert facility where spaceships are built. Several large spacecraft are shown in the video within a factory. Could it be true? Has the US government finally been exposed? Are they actually hiding alien secrets? You can also see large equipment and pieces of spacecraft all over. Many have questioned if the US government has been secretly investigating or producing alien technology. Do you believe in alien life? Alien skeleton discovered. While digging in a remote area, an archaeologist stumbled upon bones buried deep underground. What could they be? His curiosity pushed him to dig deeper. As he cleared away the dirt, he uncovered small, delicate bones that felt strange and mysterious. Soon, he realized the skeleton wasn't human. It belonged to an alien. Its tiny bones and large eye sockets were surprising, especially with the legs bent in an unusual way. Next to the skeleton, he found a tiny tool that looked like a small sword. Carefully, he took out the bones and the odd tool to examine them. Could this be proof that aliens visited Earth long ago? Pentagon UFO. A mysterious pentagon-shaped UFO was seen rapidly spinning and hovering in the clouds. The whole thing was recorded by a fighter jet, and you can even hear the pilots being fascinated by it.
That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is LNS, dude. Well, if there's like that thing.
They were amazed by the object's odd shape and speed, and it even inverted while flying. The UFO moved so quickly that it was hard to follow. The whole video seems very real. It also confused witnesses because it didn't look like any recognizable aircraft. What was this strange object? Could it be something beyond human technology, or was it a secret craft hidden from the public eye? Strange metallic object. While digging, one man came across a strange metal object. It had a round green part on top that looked like a button, resting on a finely carved base.
No, güey, mira. ¿Qué? Es una máscara, güey.
Even though he couldn't figure out what it was for, it felt like an old-fashioned gadget. Surprisingly heavy for its size, it seemed to be made of solid material.
Lo que marcaba también el péndulo, güey, abajo de la piedra otra.
Every detail hinted at something ancient and possibly powerful. What could this relic be? A tool? A device? Or something with a purpose now beyond human comprehension? UFO in California. Did you know that back in 2022, 6 flying saucers were seen in the night sky above California? No, I am not kidding. This was actually censored by the government because there were no news reports of it, but multiple people captured the sight. Witnesses claim to have seen these UFOs land neatly in several places. The craft's blue and red lights glowed brightly in the darkness. Both scientists and UFO enthusiasts have taken notice of this string of sightings. Alien artifact. A Brazilian geologist discovered the remains of a female alien, and he was instantly captivated by the skeleton. It looked both strong and fragile at the same time. You won't believe the details on this alien. The intricate snake designs made him wonder if she could be Medusa. One thing was clear. Her body suggested a complicated history, as if it had been carefully crafted. To make it even creepier, the geologist noticed the alien was holding something mysterious in her hand. What could it be? This discovery was beyond anything he could have imagined. Metal monolith discovered. This man was trekking in the East Wales town of Hay-on-Wye when came across an astonishing sight.
I've never seen this before. Always looks like a UFO was pointing something down.
It was a strange metal monolith rising 3 meters tall against the rugged landscape. This gleaming monolith was about 3.5 meters high and 1.5 meters wide. It appeared to be composed of fine metal similar to surgical steel. Craig, the guy who was recording the video, noted that it stood perfectly level even in the wind.
Let's get to the top of the bluff and find this.
This artifact was made much more interesting by its location on Hay Bluff Hill, which is inaccessible by cars. More doubts were raised when it was discovered that there were no tracks in the vicinity. Who or what had placed it there? Let me know, what do you think? Unusual skull. In this next footage, explorers were shocked to discover an unusual skull in the Amazon rainforest. The most intriguing feature was the intricate carving of an Egyptian god on its back. The skull itself was not of a human, since it was brilliant green and had a strangely formed jaw. The skull also had strange patterns, and a stone was placed in the middle of its forehead. Even more fascinating was an eye carved into the forehead. What secrets lay behind that eye? Was it a window to another world, or a reminder of a civilization long forgotten? Since experts think this skull could possibly be from prehistoric times. Ancient, elongated skull. The amazing 2,000-year-old expanded skull of Jared Collins has sparked a lot of interest in recent years. This exceptionally well-preserved skull was discovered in the Paracas region of Peru. A researcher had it examined at a university to find traits that may suggest it is not human. The skull is made up of 2 parietal bones that fit together well.
The sagittal suture looks like it has completely fused. I'm holding it, I'm looking at it, and it's just been completely obliterated.
The fascinating part is that the cranial sutures are typically apparent in all human skulls, but some are weakened with age. It is also puzzling that Jared's skull does not have these features. UFO visits school. Imagine being at school and you witness the coolest thing in the sky. This boy named Ethan shocked his buddies at school one day, showing them an actual UFO. The little metallic gray object was shining. It has some minor scratches on it, and the surface was solid. Ethan related the story of how he found the UFO in his yard after a storm, which is interesting because both of these incidents could very well be connected. Everyone was speechless. What if this UFO has secrets from another world? Truck carrying UFO. Moving on, there is this really mysterious video that has been making rounds on Reddit. Tom, a local resident from New Jersey, was driving when a truck passing by caught his attention. He quickly pulled his phone out to start filming. The truck had a large object on its back that looked like a UFO. The UFO's exterior was shiny and sleek. What's interesting is that it was also of considerable size, kind of like it had crashed somewhere and was being transported somewhere after. Could it have aliens inside? Or was it a secret government project? UFO crashed. In this footage, a guy in New York heard some odd noise outside his window. He went out to check what he saw. In the middle of the street, a huge object that looked like a UFO lay partly buried in the asphalt. It looked like the craft just had a failed landing. Landing in the middle of a busy road, and still not getting any media coverage, it made everyone to blame on the government. So, is it true? Was this actually the government that tried to hide the clear evidence? Let me know what you guys think. Alien hand discovered. We have this strange find from the ancient Peruvian ruins of Nazca. This place is already famous for some other things, but recently, scientists found what they believe to be an alien hand.
Trae una placa de esas de metal, como la pueden ver, ahí está.
Excavation team was really excited as soon as they saw the hand. I wouldn't personally be happy, but hey, that's just me. But could this truly be evidence of extraterrestrial life? The hand's long, thin fingers were far longer than a human's and were found hidden well below the ruins. Researchers have started examining the hand in detail and carrying out tests to determine its origin. What secrets would it reveal? And what would it mean for humanity's place in the universe? UFO in Germany. Now take this clip from 2020, where a man was walking up a German hill and saw a UFO resting right on it. He stood in awe for several minutes as he was mesmerized by the logic-defying craft. The man observed the UFO for several minutes. The UFO then shot into the air so fast that it just vanished. According to the eyewitness, the UFO was here to gather information. And once it was done, it did fly away. Multi-eyed alien goat. Now take this. Some researchers found a goat that didn't look like the usual ones at all. It had several eyes on top of its head that made it look oddly terrifying. Its strange face and body made it look like it was from another world. It seemed like it had been left behind during an alien encounter when its companions departed. The scientists also noticed the goat's strange teeth when they opened its mouth for inspection. I really think an alien left its goat behind. UFO hits meteorite. I am sure you have never heard of UFOs hitting a meteorite before. This UFO impacted a meteorite that entered the atmosphere above Russia. The meteorite was moving swiftly and posed a serious threat. The onlookers were panicking and fearing the worst as they braced for impact. However, just as the meteorite was about to inflict significant damage, a UFO attacked it from behind. The impact greatly reduced the chance of a disaster by breaking the meteorite into little pieces. The people believed it was the aliens trying to save humans. But why would they do that? Ocean City meteor. On April 16th at around 11 p.m., police were traveling along 130th Street when a meteor sped through the stratosphere. It illuminated the night sky as it fell on Earth. A police cruiser's dashcam caught this amazing scene on camera during a regular patrol in Ocean City, Maryland. Officer Nathan Kutz documented this incredible sight while on duty and made it public. The meteor was bright enough to light up the area. While some say this meteor was simply a natural phenomenon, others believe it was caused by something otherworldly. Willamette meteorite. Now behold for this next story. In 1902, a pioneer named Ellis Hughes was on his way home from work in Westland, Oregon, when he saw a huge, oddly shaped rock in the woods. He was curious and pulled out his hammer to strike this odd pebble. He was surprised when it sounded like a bell. Over the next few days, Hughes excavated the boulder to see what was beneath it. The Willamette meteorite is the largest meteorite ever found in North America. Over time, its shape changed, and it started looking like a modern piece of art. It's roughly the size of a car and weighs around 15 tons, which makes it quite fascinating. Zone of Silence. The Zone of Silence, also called La Zona del Silencio, has become well known for its strange happenings throughout the last 50 years.
50-odd years, through the fact that many mysterious events have occurred.
This unique area is recognized for its cosmic connections and has more meteor hits than any other place on Earth. No one knows why, though.
Was well known for the numerous meteorite impacts over and over thousands of years hitting that one.
Others have also reported seeing mysterious lights and UFOs, among other paranormal phenomena. In 2008, someone went to shoot in the nearby town of Koyami, where the locals told him that bizarre animals emerged from the dirt. It's unclear if these beings are aliens or something else. Several UFO sightings have also been reported in the vicinity. alien mermaid. Here, a man came across a bizarre creature that seemed to blur the lines between myth and reality. It looked like a cross between an alien and a mermaid. The creature's webbed arms and legs were joined by a long, fish-like tail, making it clear that it belonged in the water. Its skin was covered in shiny scales. It had a really strange face and looked really creepy. Unfortunately, the creature was not alive. But lucky for the scientists, as they got to examine the otherworldly creature a bit more closely. Alien body. Coming across a UFO in the sky is one thing. Finding an alien on the ground is something truly creepy. Take this video for example, where a decaying body of an alien was found, that too in India. Among the rubble, there was a beast that was already in its decomposing state. When the workers discovered the corpse, they immediately informed the local authorities. Soon after, scientists arrived to look over the odd finding, even if the body was decomposing. Some mysteries were to be solved. Meteorite hits Lapland. A family within a comfortable cottage in Lapland was left terrified by a loud bang. The building began rumbling, and they had no idea what was going on. Oh God, what's happening? They soon found out that a meteor strike near Inari caused the noise and tremors. The powerful sonic boom of the asteroid shattered the atmosphere, making the cabin tremble. It occurred so close to them that the black sky was lit by a bright light. It almost seems like something is going to descend from the sky. Alien skeleton discovered. Moving on, we have this strange footage. Back in 2021, a man found a strange thing hidden beneath a pile of branches while gathering firewood in the forest. He pushed the wood aside and was amazed to see a little, strange-looking skeleton. The carcass was little, almost about the size of a hand, and its skull was oddly shaped. Looks pretty creepy to me. What about you? Comet fragment. Back in 2022, when everyone was locked in their houses, there was a stunning comet fragment lit up the sky above Portugal and Spain. This one was especially interesting. The European Space Agency said that this spectacular display left a glowing white trail in its wake. Now, like always, people started speculating it was a UFO when the comet rushed across the night sky, emitting a very strong light. Do you think that was a comet or a UFO? A night of discovery. Who doesn't like stargazing? One night a man was gazing out his apartment window when he saw something in the sky.
What is that?
But he saw more than he thought he would. A meteor was glowing brightly against a black background. It was dazzlingly bright, just like a line of fire against the darkness. The meteor illuminated the sky while he was filming. Eventually, the meteor vanished into the distance, but it left everyone fascinated and puzzled. Forest mystery uncovered. Now here is an interesting discovery that was made by a group of researchers deep in a remote forest in Chile. They found a metallic disc with strange marks scattered over it. What made the discovery all the more intriguing was the fact that the forest was super dense with very little sunlight reaching the leaves. The first thought the disc was just another piece of trash, but after looking more closely, they realized it was something special. The disc was around 1 meter wide and made of an unknown material, though its surface was covered in complex patterns that seemed to be writing. But none of the specialists were able to identify the language. What was this language? The question remained unanswered. Floating lights. On a quiet night in a small town, bright shining lights were spotted floating near a house. At first, everyone thought it might be a lighting trick, but upon closer look, it was clear that these lights were unusual. The movement of the lights made it look like a UFO. The lights hovered over the house, and they were casting an otherworldly glow on its roof. Could this be a sign? Maybe a message from above that aliens are real, and they want us to get ready for an invasion. UFO Grounds Airport. On July 7, 2010, a mysterious object appeared over Huoshan Airport in China, which created quite a commotion. People described it as a long, curved shape with wide beams running along its sides. The object glided smoothly through the air before suddenly shooting straight up at an incredible speed. As the strange vehicle hovered above, the airport had to shut down temporarily. This left many travelers confused. Some passengers who had just landed also saw the glowing lights from the object. What do you think this strange object was? Octopus UFO sighted. I am sure you have never seen anything like this before. In New York City, people were shocked to see a UFO that looked just like an octopus floating in the sky. It had terrifyingly long and wavy tentacles. News spread quickly on social media. Some believed it was just a clever trick, while others thought it might be a real visit from aliens. But why was this shaped like an octopus? I have seen many interesting UFO sightings, but nothing like this. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. Reporters and locals were shocked to discover a massive, crashed UFO in a rural part of Brazil. It didn't take much time for the news reporters to arrive at the scene. Their crew put up cameras and started interviewing witnesses who saw strange lights in the sky just before the tragedy. "Did you hear that deafening boom?" one witness gasped with terror in his eyes. When experts arrived to investigate the collision, they were also taken aback by the UFO's unusual shape. It really looks very weird. How advanced is their technology compared to ours?